right, this is Tony Madsen. I'm out at the Rusty Coles Fieldhouse on a Monday after the Pensacola High School game with the Billy Lankford Memorial Player of the Game for the second time this season. Our quarterback, Gunner Rivers. How are you, Gunner? Good to see you again. Congratulations.
I'm good. How are you?
That was just an awesome game over at Pensacola for you. 24 out of 33, 360 yards. That's a 73% completion rate, which is down a little bit over your previous week.
Yes, it is.
But that's a 15-yard average, 4 touchdowns, and then 15 first downs. Tell me just a little bit about the Pensacola game and how it kind of laid out for us offensively.
That game was a lot more passing compared to the past week. We ran it 32 sometimes this week. It wasn't nearly as much, and we were just running all of our stuff. I feel like that game was more like 7-on-7. We were just calling all the plays we know, and we got it done.
You did get it done. At 1 point difference in the game, a very exciting game. For a football fan, it had it all. We had touchdowns called back. Brody Stella had a nice, 25-yard touchdown.
Yes.
Real nice run that got called back. So it was just an exciting game if you're a football fan. Now, looking at your season so far, we're through 7 games, actually 8 games. 154 out of 228 attempts, 2,226 yards. That's a 68% average, 14.4 average pass, 21 passing TDs and 2 rushing TDs against 3 interceptions. That speaks pretty good of your offensive line play. Tell me a little bit about your offensive line and how they've kind of come together and gelled throughout the season.
Yes, we got a really, really good O-line. Probably, I've only played 2 years, but probably this has been the best group I've had. And they're just awesome. They're working every day at it, and they're just a really good group of guys.
Does it worry you when you see somebody like Rocco Fiapu go out on defense that he might get a little bit tired in front of you?
Yes, sometimes, but I don't know. He's a really good player, and he works really hard.
We also had, I think, Brady Skipper go over across on defense,
yes.
Play a little defense against Pensacola last week. So, but we got Noah Moss. He's just barreling along this year and doing just a fantastic job. We missed him the first 2 games of the year. Since then, I don't know how we get along without him. Do you?
Yes, he's been amazing. He's really helped our offense.
From a offensive perspective, he's almost as good a receiver as any of your wide receivers as well. He rarely drops the ball. He seems to be there when you need him.
Yes.
Speak a little bit about his receiving capabilities as well.
Yeah, he's really good out of the backfield. He's just consistent, I'd say, and he's there when I need him. And then if something's not open, I give it to him, and then he breaks a couple of tackles and gets the first down most of the time.
Now, I wanted to have a little fun this week with your 3 wide receivers, and I call them 3 wide receivers. Cooper Kurth has been out the last couple of weeks. We got Tucker Tomlinson, Brody Jones, and I throw in Brody Stella in this week. He's come up with some really big first downs for us, and so I threw him into the trio of wide receivers this week. But familiar with all 3, and you'll play again with them next year. How special is that? The first down whenever you need it, from those guys. How special is it to play not only this year, but you got next year to look forward with them as well?
Yes, they're a really good group of guys. They're really hardworking as well, very detailed, and then they're there when I need them. They get open.
Like I said, I was going to have just a little bit of fun. I was going to kind of compare them to a couple of people that you might even know. Actually, Tucker kind of reminds me like of a Randy Moss or maybe even a Tyreek Hill from a standpoint of you look over to him, you see him one-on-one, and you're going to throw that ball down the field and hope you don't underthrow him.
Yes.
As quick as he is. And then Brody Jones is maybe a little bit like a Mike Evans or a Julian Edelman, long or short. You're going to look for him. He's going to be open. I've seen a lot of times you're throwing the ball at him when he hasn't even turned his head yet.
Yes.
Yet he's right on target. And then Brody Stella, he just kind of catches it whenever you need him to. That's like a Darnell Mooney or maybe a Tyler Lockett.
Yes.
Am I accurate with those descriptions, or can you expand on that at all?
Yes, I think you're pretty accurate with those.
Have a little fun with him.
Tucker's really good. Deep ball most season. He's had about 100 yards, only 4 catches. And he's really good. He's really good at the deep balls. And then Brody can do it all, short, medium, and deep. And he goes up and catches most of the balls. And then Brody's just there when we need him, and he catches everything. He doesn't really drop a pass, and he's just there when we need him.
Great vertical leap. And I'll throw in, I did say that Cooper Kurth has been out the last couple of weeks. We've missed him, but Cooper Helper has gotten a couple first downs over that last game as well. Our backup tight end has come in and done a great job. Now, the last 2 WCN Players of the Weeks, they've had fathers that were professional athletes, and that's a little bit of a unique perspective to have. Your father was a professional athlete for a longer time than average. He's 17 years as a professional athlete. That meant that all of your really grown-up years were spent in on the playing field along with some tremendous athletes. Just in San Diego, you had people like Melvin Gordon and Keenan Allen. Just the last few years, I looked up there, and then Jonathan Taylor up in Indianapolis. What did you kind of learn from these guys when they were out from behind the cameras and stuff like that?
Yeah, so a lot of people think like once you make it, you're just good, but that's not really the case. They're really, really hardworking, almost more than they were before, and they're just really detailed. Especially, I think they're just like very, very detailed. And Keenan Allen was one of the players on charge that I really liked, and yeah.
Now, your father, he worked with a lot of coaches as well, besides athletes, that really a lot of players looked up to. And that's not easy to do. You have a professional athlete that a lot of times are set in their way, they're very competitive. But people like Frank Reich and some of the other coaches he had, was there some people that you ran across in that circle of people, the NFL, that maybe impressed you from a non-athletic standpoint, but just kind of good in the community, that kind of thing?
Yes, Frank Reich was the Colts head coach, and then Shane Steichen was also one of the coaches I liked that was on the Chargers, and now is the head coach on the Colts. And then they're great leaders for the team, and then they help the guys prepare, and they're just really good.
We all thought of, again, we saw somebody like your father throwing the ball down the field only on ESPN on a Sunday night. His practice habits were a little bit notoriously strong as well, or strict as well. Did you get any kind of pregame habits or anything like that from him that you might still follow today?
Just really preparing and knowing like the playbook really well, and then knowing like stuff you like off of it, and reading defense, and like knowing keys of like which defensive players like to do in like certain situations.
I don't have a favorite pair of socks or shoes or anything like that you hold on to. Okay. All right. Well, awesome. That's great. And those times are going to be tremendous for you to think back on. One last question to kind of follow up on that. Do you have aspirations of playing into the next couple of levels yourself?
Yes, I do.
We'll kind of go from there and get back into the final region game of the year is Orange Beach this year. It might have lost a little bit of its luster after they lost to Mobile Christian. We are guaranteed a home playoff spot since they did lose to Mobile Christian, but still a regular season region game. We should be excited for it. What do you see from them as they come into St. Michael?
They're gonna come and they're gonna want to win really bad, and I think our guys are gonna prepare well, and we're gonna get it done.
Is there anybody on their defense that that you're worried about, or is there any players that kind of stand out to you?
I don't think they have anyone like we do, and.
Now, home field advantage, we got 2 more games. We get an extra home field advantage game this year with that home field home playoff spot. So that's awesome to have. Tell me just a little bit about your experience in our brand new stadium.
It's awesome. It's awesome being able to, where you go to practice and you just walk over to play a game. It's awesome. And then the home field crowd is also a lot better than having to drive. Like last year we did for the playoff game, we had to drive like 4 hours to the game, and it's a big difference playing at home.
Yeah, it will. Do you know what region we will be playing our first round in the playoffs?
No, I'm not sure yet.
I'm not sure either if it was Hanley's region, which I think was region 3.
I think it is. Yes, it is.
I think that's region 3. Yeah. I saw Hanley was in 4th place there, so we'll have to see how everything shakes out. But again, thank you very much. This is Gunnar Rivers. He's our player of the week against Pensacola. Last week he was 24 out of 33, 360 yards, 73% completion rate, 4 TDs. Awesome game. Thank you, Gunnar. Congratulations. Safe play next week. Good luck.